I'm driving and I have you propped up, so don't worry. I'm not only just looking at my phone. I wanted to, I guess, have a conversation about what's kind of happening with work and where I'm at with my job and how I'm feeling about it now that it's been almost 5 months exactly. I wanted to kind of chit chat a little bit about the pros and the cons of being a medical assistant. I did get promoted about 2-3 weeks ago to a medical assistant 2, so that was exciting. I kind of briefly touched about what that felt like and kind of, you know, the situations kind of around that promotion with coworkers and just in general how people took to it. So let's start with, let's do a pro and a con for each category. That way, you know, I'm not just saying all the awful things or the things that could be improved on, but I'm also talking about the positives. So, one pro of being a medical assistant is that I'm constantly learning something new. Whether it's learning how to take vitals such as blood pressure, your height, your length, your weight, your temperature, things like that. Because they don't change very often, it just kind of depends on whether or not the patient is a certain age. So a lot of times we'll do blood pressure for patients 3 and up, and then anyone under 3, we don't do their height, we take their length, so we just kind of go from head to toe. So that's been kind of fun, and you know, adjusting to all the new different labs we also run. So we run anything from COVID to flu to RSV to strep, and so that was fun learning how to do all the different laboratory tests for that to get results. A con to being a medical assistant is the stress of always being overwhelmed. I feel like you're constantly getting overwhelmed with different providers needing different things at all different times. So they could be coming into you and you may not even be working up that provider, but they'll be coming to you for, let's say, A, B, and C. And, you know, you're juggling immunizations or you're trying to chart. And so the constant, you know, people at you can be a lot. But I know the providers just at the end of the day are trying to make the patients happy, so I try not to take it, you know, I try to take it with a grain of salt. Another pro of being a medical assistant is the patients themselves. So I happen to work in a pediatric clinic, and so I work with the tiny little humans, and they're so much fun. A lot of times they just genuinely are there for a well visit, or if they're there for a sick visit, it's honestly just because they're trying to get answers. And so I try to be mindful of the fact that while I'm, you know, with them and they're in my care, I try to give them the best possible care I can. Let's say for 5 minutes, you know, we're the difference between a smile of a good day or a frustration because they're having a bad day because they don't feel well, or they're afraid of an immunization that we're about to give them. If we can kind of help build and like finish that gap, it just makes a really good day. And I love when they smile, and I love when they're happy, and I think it's awesome when the parents are like, oh my gosh, like they haven't had a good experience in so long, you were amazing, thank you so much. Just makes you feel good, you know. Alright, let's do one more con and then I'll give some advice. Another con is just because there's so many providers at the clinic that I happen to work at, sometimes the staff ratio can be an issue. If one medical assistant calls out, we're down like 2 staff and we have all of the providers there. It just gets really overwhelming, and you know, I think sometimes management, they try their best, of course, but you know, you can't always get a sub, and at the hospital you're always constantly kind of overworked all the time. So I go home very tired on those days. But yeah, so overall the last 5 months of being a medical assistant have really taught me kind of 3 things. One, like, you gotta just do you. Like, you gotta go in, you gotta know what you're doing, and you gotta be able to just work at your own pace and not let others kind of tell you how you should work. work, because a lot of times people will try to be bossy and their opinions really don't matter as long as you know that you're doing your best. 2, you have to remember that when you're overwhelmed, just take a quick step back. Remember that you're prepared for what you're about to do. Go in confidently, and remember to just always shoot up a prayer when in doubt. And then the 3rd thing I've really learned is that it's okay to not know the answer to things and always ask questions. Even if the answer is something that you maybe don't agree with, get other opinions. So ask your other medical assistants, ask other providers, ask your supervisor. You never want to go in, giving false advice to, families or patients, and you never want to go in acting unconfident, because the patients and the parents pick up on it super quick. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, so outside of that, that's kind of my thoughts on being a medical assistant right now. My advice to anyone who's wanting to become a medical assistant is to make sure you ask a lot of questions. So when you're going in, and let's say you're brand new like I was, I'm enrolled in medical assisting continuing education. So I'm actually enrolled in a course, and I'm taking it this summer. It's an accelerated 11-week course on clinical medical assisting. So it'll be a lot, but I'm pretty excited. But yeah, so my only advice is make sure you go in asking a lot of questions, and know that it's okay to ask questions, and that the right people will give you the right answer. And even if you don't get the answer you're looking for, you'll be able to ask somebody else who has the answer. So yeah. But anyway, I am just now driving to Farmington, Missouri. I am going to watch my fiance coach track and field. He is a pole vault coach for a local high school out here, and he also runs a couple other events. So Farmington's a little bit of a drive from where I'm coming from, but luckily it's just for conference, and then hopefully his team is doing well. And besides that, thanks you guys for all the support, especially when it comes to my medical assisting vlogs and videos. You guys all seem to really love it, so I really appreciate the support. And if anything comes up, I will let you guys know. But as of right now, that's kind of where I'm at with my job, and I do love it. So thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time.